about water and urban places. This is Ideanthro. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro, where we're continuing to tell you about our recent trip through the regional areas of New South Wales with the help of the Central West Council's Environment and Waterways Alliance. And we are now in episode 2 of a mini-series within that bigger trip, where we are looking at 3 sites. In the first episode, we were looking at Caltex Park in Dubbo. In this episode, we're going to look at a park in Parks, the town of Parks that is, a little bit trippy there. The park is called Pack Park, and it is in Parks. There's a lot of P's and a lot of A's in that, bear with me, and a lot of K sounds. And then the third episode, we're going to visit Orange. But the common thread that links all of these together is sites where there is a really clear connection between the drivers for the project and the on-ground outcome. So in this episode, we're visiting Pack Park in Parks. And essentially here, this is a site where council identified, like there's an old waterway or a drain, not entirely clear to me if it once was a creek or it's a formed up drain, but the point is there was linear parkland around what is now a watercourse through the city, and it was degraded, it was not an activated and used space, but the opportunity was identified to reactivate this space, centre around a wetland rehabilitation, and then to bring in the habitat aspects of that, get a bit of stormwater treatment out of it, but that wasn't necessarily the major goal here, to slow stormwater flows, to activate the park so it was a usable open space. And I was really impressed, again, because of this connection between the drivers and the on-ground outcome. But I'm not going to spend my time telling you about this today. I am going to leave that up to Michael Chambers from Parks Council, because this project is his baby and he's really proud of it. And I think he will do the best job of telling you about it. So, over to Michael.
This site receives the majority of the town's stormwater.
Yep.
So stormwater coming off all our main hard stand areas within Parks.
Yep.
It gets channeled down into the waterway running through this area, Pack Park.
Yep.
And it all ends up in this section. So this is an area that had been dredged a few decades ago.
Okay.
And then inundated with silt, and then inundated with woody weeds.
Okay.
A few native macrophytes in there, just the Typha and the Phragmites, but woody weeds, silt, looked really bad.
Quite a straight channel as well. Was it like really channelized?
Very channelized up until just on the other side of this casuarina here.
Yep.
Then it did open up a bit when they dredged it out to put in this weir just here.
Okay.
It was meant to act more like a dam, so it could hold a bit more water in times of high flow.
Okay.
But it silted up really quickly, and then got covered in weeds, so any large flows, just again a thin channel formed itself through there.
Yep. Okay, so a decision was made to turn this into a wetland for what? For habitat purposes, for a bit of stormwater treatment?
Yep.
What else? What are the aims? A little bit of like activation of this park, because it's got potential as a linear park. Like,
So they were the 3 main reasons, and they were the outcomes we wanted to achieve with this.
Okay.
Activating the area for recreation, community use.
Yep.
Increasing the capacity of this area to hold stormwater in times of high flows, just to alleviate localized flooding issues down here.
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
And then habitat. So biodiversity, increasing biodiversity, species diversification of the plants, and trying to increase the amount of water birds that visited the area, other water species that would like.
Okay, so to make that happen, what did you do? What was the process? Like, obviously there was design work in the background, but when it came to actually doing stuff on site, what happened?
So we got a big excavator in.
Okay.
It couldn't reach. I would have liked to have dredged a bit more of the island away and only had a bit of a smaller island there.
Okay.
Couldn't reach as far, so that worked. It ended up working fantastically.
Okay.
The island that's been created has been colonised with the natives, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Dredged out a lot of the silt and a lot of the weeds. That all went to our landfill and was used as capping.
Yep.
A lot of the areas such as this were also extended So any of that good material was used on the other side to create mounds where we're going to have seating overlooking the area.
Yep.
So it was dredging and shaping based on the design, and then we laid jute mesh because the flows that come down here are just such high velocity.
So is that jute mesh on the batters?
Yes,
Yes.
just on the batters, yeah.
Yep.
It was quite hard doing the dredging work, especially with our water treatment plant constantly flowing, backflow.
Ah, yes. Yeah, so you told me before that the water treatment plant, the backwash water
Yeah.
from that gets discharged. It's a couple of hundred metres upstream from here.
Yeah.
So there's essentially a constant flow into this,
Yeah.
no matter what you do.
Daily, exactly. So working with those guys to try to time when they would discharge.
Yep.
And then we have a pipe at the weir here that we can control the water level of this
so you
area.
can draw it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we drained it, did it at the height of summer. So once it was drained, the backwash didn't fill up. It drained out quite quickly so that we could work either side and direct the flow just on the other side of this to come either way while we were dredging
so you
the
put it
other
round
side.
once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, so that worked out well. Once all the dredging was done, we jute meshed the batters and then planting.
Yep.
So community planting days, getting local schools involved, planted over 20,000
Okay.
macrophytes and terrestrial grasses, strappy leaf plants.
Yep.
Quite dense to try to outcompete any weeds. It hasn't worked throughout the entire site, but it's getting there.
Yeah, the aquatic stuff's doing pretty well. Like obviously you've got like the Typhus doing its things and going gangbusters, but the other aquatics that you've got in there are doing quite nicely. The terrestrial stuff in some spots, the understory stuff's having a hard time in the dry and in like some of these really harsh soils that it's in.
Yeah.
But you also showed me on the other side, several different species of canopy that have come up from seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, what were they? They were...
We've got eucalypts coming up, casuarinas, callistemon, they're the three. Eucalypts, presumably the ones we've planted, which are majority river red gums. So if they're the ones that have come up, that'll be fantastic.
Yep.
The casuarinas that have come up, again, all from planted seed, but are obviously enjoying it.
Yep.
And the callistemons as well are just a garden variety.
Yeah,
that
there
have been
was
planted
a
upstream.
more mature one upstream that you can see.
Yeah,
Yep.
but again, they'll add species diversity, another layer of habitat provision when they get more mature.
Yep.
And their roots will help stabilise the banks further as well.
And a bit of nice shade around here. Because
Exactly.
we walked a fair bit further up, like where we're standing now, it's pretty hot and baking in the middle of the day, but further up where there's some of those more mature casuarinas, it was really quite a nice, like the temperature change was phenomenal. So that was lovely.
For sure.
So tell me briefly, like I can tell from our chat off camera just before, this site's special to you. Like you just described the function and the stuff of it. Why has it touched your heart though? Like
I grew up not far from here, so it was somewhere where I used to come as a young kid.
Yep.
I enjoyed playing in this park, catching gambusia out of the waterway, toy boats on the waterway, but seeing it over time just kind of get neglected. I think the first thing was the siltation. No one got on top of that quite quickly, so then the weeds came in, no one got on top of that. Weeds grew, it just became too much of a problem.
Yep.
So coming back to parks, working for council and seeing this area neglected, I just knew there was something better that we could do as a council, getting the community involved to really turn this space into somewhere that could be enjoyed by the community. Yeah,
and I like it, and it reminded me, as you were telling me before, I suppose the story of that and the activation, and then once people kind of saw it, started to it's a bit chicken and the egg, because you need something in the ground some of the time for people to get it, and once they get it, then it's like, oh, it's so much easier to keep that momentum rolling. It reminds me a little bit of Logan City Council and their Slacks Creek stuff. They've had some momentum and done some really good stuff in this space, and I hope it can continue for you in that same similar vein. So yeah, I like it. And if you haven't seen that stuff before, I'll send you some of their gear, because that might be of interest. Yeah, but it is getting some traction, getting parks and gardens more involved. They're taking more pride in the area. Yep.
since doing this, visitor numbers, just local people coming to the park, just anecdotal evidence suggests that that has increased, which is fantastic.
Yep.
We've just gotten another grant off the back of this one to install some seating,
Yep.
increase the amenity of the area. It all goes steps towards getting people to appreciate this space for what it is. And then with interpretive signage, educating people about urban waterways, stormwater,
Yep.
water sensitive urban design. So
Yeah.
yeah,
like
it's
it.
exciting.
I really do. Well, thank you for taking the time to show me around
Not at all.
today. I like it.
And that's Pack Park in Parks. I really like it. Michael, everyone else at council, nicely done. For you watching, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Before you go, our best episodes come from your questions. This knowledge base, these discussions that are Ideanthro improve with your contribution. So if there's a topic, an idea, a concept that you would like us to explore, come and ask us. You know where to find us. www.ideanthro.com/contact. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and that place you get your good podcasts from. You know where to find us. We look forward to hearing from you. We'll see you soon.